Yo, all praise to the Most High. Name is only begotten beloved Son. We about to go ahead and get started in a second. Just waiting for people to come in. Matter of fact, what I'm about to do is, let me see. 1 second, y'all. About to invite people to come into this live feed real quick. So y'all just be patient with me. We're gonna get started in a second, y'all. So once again, be patient. I'm inviting people in this live feed real quick once again. Hold on, y'all. So just be patient. Once again, I'm inviting people to this live feed. So we're gonna get started probably about another minute from now. Alright, let's see. Once again, we're gonna get started shortly. So hopefully y'all getting ready, because we're gonna get some good understanding today. Alright. Alright. So I'm about to go ahead and get started. Shalom, everybody that's coming in. I just want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh. His name is only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, long live the King. We're about to go ahead and get started. As you know, a few years ago, I did a video called Halloween Orgies Exposed, which can be found at my YouTube channel, youtube.com/JudahYisrael314. This is the video here. Halloween Orgies Exposed. The video was like 9 minutes 43 seconds. Alright. So we about to go ahead and get on started. You know, I know there's people coming in, so I ain't want to start right away because I ain't want nobody to miss nothing. Alright. So anyway, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this audio. You know, I don't usually do that. I'm going to make it audio because I really want you to really just sit and listen. So just get your Bible out. We're going to go into some of the origins. Samhain, also known as Samhain, and how it started or whatnot. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. I'm going to make it audio. So y'all just need to just listen and just close your mouth. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Hey, shalom, shalom, Hebrew. What it do, bro? So yeah, that's what we about to do. He said shortest video I ever did. That's right, bro. Because you know I be making them videos 8 days long. So yeah, we about to go ahead and do that real quick. Alright. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know you can't see nothing, so I just go ahead and make it audio. I just want you to really just sit back and listen what you're about to hear or whatnot. So listen with an open mind. If you one that never learned the truth about the origins of Halloween, just really just sit back and pay attention, alright? Because you're probably about to hear some things that you never heard. Alright, I first want to start off with a quote that Anton LaVey said. Now, if you don't know who Anton LaVey is, Anton LaVey is basically a guy who started or founded what's known as the Church of Satan. All right. His name is Anton LaVey. All right. So hopefully if you sitting and listening, you got some pen and paper. All right. Because there's things I'm going to say, you can write it down and look it up. So if you're writing this down, the first person you can write down is Anton LaVey. But basically, he made a quote one day saying that, I'm glad that Christian parents allow their children to worship the devil at least one night out of the year. Now, really sit and ask yourself, why would he say that? You know, do you worship the devil on this day? I mean, we're going to find out. First and foremost, what does the word worship even mean? Because most will say, well, I don't have children to worship the devil, so this don't apply to me. Really? Do it? Because many of you will be doing haunted houses, parties, trick-or-treating, costumes, and Fright Fest, Fright Night, aka Horror Night, right? So will you be worshiping the devil? I mean, some are already doing this right now. They've already paying attention. Yes, this video is an audio. It's actually an audio video, so it works. But I want people to just really listen to what they about to hear. All right, so it's an audio video now. All right, so we're going back audio. Now, so anyway, this whole Fright Night, Fright Fest, haunted houses, right? Are you really worshiping the devil? Because many of y'all are going to be doing parties, already been doing parties. Haunted houses, right? Getting ready for this season that's coming in, right? So it's one script I want to hit real quick. For those of you who have your concordance, something I want you to pay attention to. We're going to turn to the book of Exodus, chapter 34 right quick. Exodus, chapter 34. Those who read Hebrew, the book of Shemot. All right, some would say Shemot. And we're going to chapter 34 right quick. And we're going to hit the 14th verse. All right. So, okay. Exodus chapter 34 and verse 14. It says, for thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord whose name is jealous is a jealous God. So we're going to start off there because we really finna go into the origins of where this stuff started. All right. But it's about two scripts I want to hit first before we do this. All right. So when you look at the word worship, those who read Hebrew, we know is the word shakar. And the word shakar, it means to humbly beseech. Basically to do reverence, to give homage to. Okay. So when you are giving homage to something, someone or something, this is a form of worship. Okay. Once again, this is a form of worship. Because today, as a people, we look at homage as, I bow down to you. I bow down. No, worship can also mean giving homage to. Okay. So we're going to find out real soon. Are you giving homage to Halloween? Huh? Now we're going back audio. So, all right. So, we're going to go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, and then we're going to jump into this lesson. All right. The book of Ephesians, chapter 6. All right. I'm going to start back in 10. And after that, we're going to jump into this lesson. All right. Because it's going to get deep. Okay. Ephesians 6 and verse 10. I'm going to start there. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Verse 11. Put on a whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Now, what does the wiles mean in that verse? That means the trickeries, the deceit. Huh? So the deceit of the devil. Who's the devil? That's the false accuser. Hashatan, Satan, the deceiver. That's who the devil is. But let's continue. Verse 12, it says, for we wrestle or we fight not against flesh and blood. So understand that this fight that we banging, it ain't against man. It say, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. You see that? Against principalities, against powers, against spiritual wickedness. Spiritual wickedness. Spiritual wickedness in high places. So that's going to be the foundation of what we dealing with here. So understand that when we partaking in Halloween or All Hallows Even or All Saints Day, we are fighting against spiritual wickedness in high places. But those who are not spiritual but carnal, they're not going to be able to receive what I'm about to bring out. Now, so we're going to start off with this lesson. So just be quiet and listen. And leave your feelings and emotions out of this. All right? Because what I'm about to tell you is something that you ain't going to hear. Why? Because Halloween, it's a $6 billion business a year. $6 billion. Now really sit and think about this for a second before we get into this lesson. If this is $6 billion business, then clearly you as a consumer are a hot commodity on this day. So that means what? You're not going to see too many people or too many things exposing the truth about Halloween. Why? Because it's a big business. That's first and foremost. So where did this Halloween come from? Please sit and listen. Where does Halloween thing come from? All Saints Day was another name for it. All Saints Day, which we're going to be getting into in a second. Shalom, everybody that's coming in. It was also known as All Souls Day. Samhain, which is also pronounced as Samhain. Now pay very close attention because Samhain plays a major part in what you're dealing with today. Okay. But Samhain, or some will say Samhain, all right, aka All Hallows Even, aka Halloween. This is a day where people again spend $6 billion on. So of course the heathen not gonna tell you the truth. Period. Why? Because it don't benefit them. But guess what? I'm here to tell you. Okay. It was known as these days, mainly Samhain, which we will talk about shortly again. Samhain was kept on November the 1st. Okay? But the night before this night, do you know what they called it? They called it All Hallows Eve. So Samhain was kept on this night, but the night before was called All Hallows Even, or All Hallows Eve. Now, so this is what we finna deal with. All Hallows Eve. Now in the year 1556, I believe, the Black Scots. When I say the Black Scots, I'm talking about the black people, dark people who lived in Scotland. They were known as the Scots. Okay? They used the term All Hallows Eve, which basically meant Hallow Evening, or what you know as a holy evening. But is this really a holy evening? Holy comes from the Hebrew word kadosh, which means set apart. That's what holy means. It comes from the Hebrew word kodosh or kodesh, which means set apart. So is this really a set apart day? But again, now you call it Halloween, which came not from the Scots, but from the English, who embraced it as Halloween around, I believe it's year 1745. But as I was talking about Samhain, let's deal with that. So basically this day, the long story short, this day originated with the ancient Celtic, some would say Celtic. All right. The ancient Celtic or Celtic festival of Samhain. Basically when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to trick demonic spirits. I dare you research this. It's going to be your homework. They would wear costumes to trick demonic spirits, which we're going to talk about in a second as well. Again, this day Samhain was kept on November the 1st. Now, again, you may say, oh, well, cool. I don't fit in that category because I keep Halloween, not Samhain. And I do it on October the 31st, not November 1st, right? Wrong. Wrong, very wrong. But why? Why did I say wrong? You see, because on October 31st, this day they believe that the spirits return to the earth. And they would set out food outside the doors, such as wine and bread and treats outside, which we're going to find out a little later why. Why did they do this? Because your custom that you keep and everything that you're doing, from the costumes to your candy, your party and your festivals, all this goes back to Druid demon worship. That's what it go back to. So pay very close attention, Ray. Leave your emotions out of this. We're going back audio. So, why would they do this? If you stick around, you'll find out why. Now, earlier I mentioned these people known as the Celtics or the Celts. Okay. So if you've never heard of this, the Celts or the Celts were basically a group of people who mainly came from places like Ireland and Scotland. Some came from Wales and some from France and England, etc. But these were a large group of people. Now, if you watch my documentary, King James on Trial, I had already told you about how the Irish and the Scots were the same people. All right, so if you already know about that, then you already know what it is. So there's no need for me to go deep into it because I've done an extensive amount of research and gave out lots of information for you all, for the people that dominated and lived in Europe. Because today when we think of Europe, we think of some white folk. All right, but these were dark people, your ancestors, who was into a lot of this wickedness that passed it down to these white folks that passed it right back down to you. All right. But mainly these people were in Ireland. Okay. But speaking of the Celts, who played a major role in the slave trade, who pushed these wicked customs back on us during these times. They were big on partaking this day that you embrace with them. These people to this very day still partake in Samhain. This day is kept again on November the 1st, but All Hallows Eve, which you know as on the 31st. This was before the Catholics, who were the offspring of themselves, who kept this custom again that you know as All Souls Day, All Saints Day, a day where they pray for the dead, believing that the dead souls were in a state of grace or mercy, that they would pray on the dead saints on the behalf of them so that they could go into heaven. They thought that this would be purifying. So it originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Understand that. When people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. Look it up. They would have celebrations. They would do parties. They would do all these little festivals that people would come all over, share their little ghost stories. Do fortune telling. They'd be dancing, singing, just partying. This was a time of festival. During a time of festivals. Now, if you've never heard of, what was his name? Pope Gregory III, who existed around the 8th century. Who was he? And what did this have to do with what we know as Halloween today? Pope Gregory III. If you writing this down, pay close attention. Pope Gregory III. Who was he? Never heard of him, huh? Anybody heard of Pope Gregory III? Let me see if we got any comments coming in. I really want to know real quick before we continue. Anybody know who Pope Gregory III is? Nobody? Pope Gregory III, around the 8th century, this idiot was the one who changed the date to November the 1st as the time to honor the dead saints then. I see one person said yes, that's what's up. That's what's up. You've been doing some studying, some research then. So check it. All Saints, they incorporated some of the traditions of Samhain, as I talked about earlier. All right. The evening before was known as All Hallows Eve, and later called Halloween, as I said earlier. This was also during the time where Roman Christians were trying to Christianize this pagan demonic day. And this is how you Christians later picked this festival up. And as usual, the Romans, of course, doing their usual drunkenness and orgies. This was their time, which made it hard for the so-called Christians back then to accept this. But when that died down, Christians later became to accept it. And as a people today, you get used to it. You get used to it. So, now, dealing with the origins. You get a book called Fossilized Customs, as I already talked about in part 1 of the documentary. On page 47, you learn how the roots of this festival comes from Druid demon worship. Druid demon worship. Now, we just got done talking about the Hebrew word for worship. It's shakah, which means, and those who know Hebrew, is the letter sheen, the letter chet, what some would say ket. Shout out to my brother Mally. And the letter hay, shakah. And it means to give homage, to beseech, to stoop, to crouch. You humble yourself. That's what worship means. Today in English, worship, we think of somebody bowing down. And no, worship means to give homage. So if you pay very close attention, shamai, which comes from the Hebrew, which means to listen, to hearken. If you shamai, you're going to learn that you are giving homage. You are worshiping Satan. Now, if you don't believe in God or the Bible, turn this off. This ain't for you. Alright? But we finna go back audio. Okay. So, now, as I said earlier, this goes back to Druid demon worship. Now, have you ever thought about on Halloween why this is a dreaded occasion? Why this is a scary occasion? Why you always see ghosts, demons, things like that? I mean, why? Why on this day? I mean, really sit back and ask yourself this. Because the answer's finna come, but I want you to really sit back and think, why ghost? Why is something who's called Halloween, which means hallowed evening or holy evening, is associated with the damn dead? When that's not holy. It's not a holy evening. It's a dreaded occasion. So why the ghost? Why? Really sit and think about that. And if you can't answer that question, you need to listen. Shammai. This was a day where they believed that time stood still and ghosts, or should we say spirits, roamed the earth. As I stated earlier, if you were paying attention. The Celts would go outside during the Samhain festival in masks and costumes. Oh, sounds a little familiar today though, don't it? What people walking around looking like and dressed like on Halloween? Ghosts, spirits, the dead. But why? And you call it Halloween, which means hallowed evening or holy evening. So why that? Where did these whole costumes come from? Huh? Really sit and think about this. Why do they dress like ghosts? Do you know that these Druid demon worshippers would put animal skin on, dressed like fairies and ghosts? Huh? Do you know why they did that? To trick these demonic spirits into thinking that they were a ghost. So let's get into that. Let's get back into it. So again, during these Samhain festivals, the Celtic demon worshippers, again, they would dress up in animal skin, dress like demons and ghosts and fairies, like I was just saying, of course, to trick these demonic spirits, these wandering demonic spirits. Let me stress that, because I said earlier, this was a time where they believed that the ghosts returned to the earth and walked the earth. They were the walking dead. This was the night of the living walking dead to them. It wasn't just a TV show to them. I'm going to repeat that. This wasn't just a TV show for them. Period. They wanted to trick the wandering demon spirits into leaving them alone, thinking that they were ghosts as well. Speaking of this Walking Dead TV show, because I actually watched this show. And if you one who watched the show, I believe we on season 8 now. If you watch the show, you will notice that when they outside, like what's the lady with the locks, Michonne with the locks, you know, who's now dealing with the white boy, Rick, or whatnot. Did anybody notice that there was a show where she cut their arms off and she tied them up in chains? You remember that show? And she had the blood and stuff on her, so that that these dead could smell it, so that they can think that they were one of them. Anybody remember that show? I'm really asking, do anybody remember that? If not, look it up. Michonne, because look it up, because this is where you can do some homework on this, because y'all love this day. So yeah, you're gonna do some homework. But the character Michonne in the Walking Dead show, she would walk around, and if you never watched the show, with these dead, they were called walkers. You know, they make the little sounds or whatnot, and they eat the people, and they turn into a walker or whatnot. But anyway, she was walking around with these walkers, all right, and had the little blood on her, you know, and which came off a walker or a dead body, of course. And the walkers thought that she was one of them. She walking between the crowd and tricked the dead. But guess what? You think that's just a TV show? No, a lot of these little ideas that they get to put in their shows, you got to remember the so-called white man had their own customs. So of course they're going to incorporate their customs of their ideas into their television shows. That makes sense. It just makes sense. Which will explain where they got that from. Because back then, on Samhain or Samhain or whatnot, yeah, he said you seen it, yeah, no doubt. So, Michonne did this to trick the ghosts. But guess what? On Samhain, they did the same thing. On Samhain. But it was a little different because they would dress up like ghosts to trick the demonic spirits into thinking that they were one of them. But as usual, when you yeah, no doubt, that's exactly what we're talking about, Walking Dead. But as usual, see, as Ecclesiastes 1:9, so there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, so now today people just putting a new name on it. All right, so when dealing with this, matter of fact, let me grab that right quick. Ecclesiastes 1:9. Hold on. Let me grab that. Ecclesiastes 1:9. Matter of fact, y'all just listen. We're going to Ecclesiastes 1:9. All right. Ecclesiastes 1:9. It says, the thing that has been is that which shall be. You see that the thing that have been, which is what? Back then. It is that which shall be. Shall is what? Future. You see that? So things that happened in the past, it shall be. I'm going to read it again. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. It's nothing new under the sun. So the things that have been going on still happening to this day. Let's read verse 10. It says, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. You see that? So, understand that the things that has been done under the sun, it's nothing new. That's in verse 11. It says, there is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. So, when dealing with this whole Samhain or Samhain festival, which is about the Celtics, or some would say the Celts, or some would say the Celtics, it's nothing new. It just got a different name now. But oh, you call it Halloween today. That's right. You just give it a new name. So we finna go deeper. So when dealing with America, and that's America with the KKK, of course. This custom, again, it came over here before the 1950s, as I was speaking about earlier, in about 1846, when most of the Celts brought this over here. But between the 1920s and 1950s, this old demonic festival was basically born. And in the new era, it was the turning point for this festival over here in this Western world of goodies and fun for the children and widely accepted. You little kids want a scary story for Halloween? Yeah, let your kids listen to this. You're going to learn something new. So, the needy, or some would say the poor, did you know that this day families partook in the festivals, right? They didn't get tricks played on them or on their home if they gave out tricks or treats when they did tricks on this day. Speaking of that, so where did this trick or treat come from? Trick or treat? What's the little stupid song we say as a youngster? Trick or treat, give me something good to eat. If you don't, I don't care, I will pull down your underwear. Now, see, I don't know about y'all, but when I was young, man, I was bad. Man, I would bust windows out, I'd prank your house, we TP your house. If you turned your lights off and you weren't giving me no candy on that day, oh man, it was a problem. Your house was getting messed up. But think about it, because I know I ain't the only one who did this. Why? Why did I have that spirit on me? Because you didn't give me no candy, I want to mess your house up. So because you turned your lights off and you weren't partaking, oh no, I wasn't letting that ride. But why? What spirit was on me as a youngster that would make me want to tear your house down for not giving me no candy and had a bag full of candy already? Why? If you understand the whole trick or treat, then you'd understand. We're going to learn later what you have what's called souling and gauzing. All right, that the Brits had picked up. So if you stick around, you're going to be learning why. And then you'll see bad little children, such as myself as a youngster, pick this up. And didn't even realize why. Didn't even know why. But this is a spirit that we banging against. That's why I hit the Ephesians 6 and 10 to 12. All right. So, here we go. Let's get back. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. Give me something good to eat. If you don't, I don't care. I'll pull down your underwear. Now, when you think of that chant alone just sound wicked. What if we was talking about a man? Are you going to pull his underwear down? Oh, okay, little children, we'll give you some candy. Don't pull down my underwear. But where did stuff come from, though? See, in the custom of Samhain, what later became the All Hallow Even festival, families would put treats, food outside, as I was talking about earlier. They put food outside. They did this in the fear of demonic spirits with the hope that no harm would come to their house. Sounds like me, because I would have been the one back then tearing their house apart. And then, I used to run track, so I was really fast. So I had no fear. I would tear your house down, be halfway down the block before you realize something happened to your house. So it didn't make me none. I just go to the next block, find out, all right, you don't give me no candy? All right, your house getting tore up now. But not knowing that this whole thing back then is stemmed back from that. And remember, whether you know this or not, ladies and gentlemen, what you partaking in this ritual is very spiritual. So we're going to go deeper into this Halloween. So anyway, they did this in fear that these spirits, again, would do no harm to their household, and to calm these demonic spirits to keep them from playing tricks on them. I'm going to repeat that again. They did it to calm these demonic spirits to keep them from playing tricks on them. Trick or treat, huh? Now, around the Middle Ages, the needy, again, will go from house to house. They'll be begging for treats, such as soul cakes. Soul cakes. Now, how many people know about that? How many people really know about these soul cakes? The needy, again, will go and ask for these soul cakes in exchange for prayers for their dead relatives. This was called souling. Souling, like soul, souling. So they would do prayers to the dead. How many people ever heard of souling? So why do people go from house to house begging for candy? The same parents tell them, oh, don't take candy from strangers, but you allow them to do it on this night. What a contradictory. But why go house to house? Where does it come from? It came from the custom of souling. That they would go from house to house, begging for candy and food, money and drinks, in exchange for prayers and chants for the dead. They do tricks for your treats. They would do tricks for your treats. They would do tricks for your treats. Poetry, singing, dancing. This was called souling. And you got your children partaking in this willingly. Notice I said willingly. Because we know there are some people have certain situations. But we talking willingly. You willingly got your children partaking in souling. I don't worship the dead. What does worship mean? Again, it comes from the word shakar, which means to give homage. You are having them partaking in a ritual. And you don't even know it. But that wicked spirit that come out of you do know it. That knows. But we're going to go deeper. So pay attention. Pay attention. Again, if you just coming in, Shalom, Hebrew. If you just coming in, we on the trick or treat part. I was explaining in this custom of Samhain, or also known as Samhain, but the night before that, November 1st, which we got October 31st, it was known as All Hallows Evening, which they called a holy night, which they believed that the dead souls roamed the earth and that time stood still. So the families would put treats outside their front door. They did this in the fear of demonic spirits so that they would hope again to trick these demon spirits into not harming them or their household. And we got to talking about souling. Souling. They did this, and the souling mainly was on the 2nd, okay, on All Souls Day. So this festival was more than one night. But anyway, the poor people again would go from house to house begging for treats, such as soul cakes, for exchange for prayers for the dead relatives. This was mainly also kept in Britain too during the Middle Ages. This was again known as souling. And we're going to talk about this gauzing too. That's what we're going to talk about. Gauzing. What's gauzing? Ask people who keep Halloween, what's gauzing? Where'd it come from? This goes all the way back to the Middle Ages, where the little youngsters would dress up in costumes. They go from house to house. So you see how the custom picked up on the same day? They go from house to house, begging for treats and money, doing tricks in their costumes. Ask yourself, why is this a holy evening or Hallows evening or Halloween? Why are we dressing up like the dead? Why? Why are we asking for candy? Why are we going from house to house? Why is this a scary, dreaded occasion? Why? Why the pumpkins? Oh, we're going to get to the pumpkins. If you've read Fossilized Customs and learn about this custom, you already know what's up. So why are your pumpkins? So, let's get back to it. We're going to get on back to it. So, again, gauzing. Your young children back then would dress up in costumes. Like I said, for money, food. They would do chants for them. Or tricks for them. Telling jokes for things. Sounds familiar, don't it? Ain't that what you got your children doing? Huh? Sounds familiar. Guess what? These Irish and Brits and Scottish people, guess what they did when they brung their wicked customs over here? They pushed it on you. Where you think you get your trick-or-treating over here in America? This is why you tell your children, look, this is why you tell your children you're going trick-or-treating. Why not tell them you're going Halloweening? Why do the children say trick-or-treating? Why? Why they call it trick-or-treating? Why not Halloweening? Why not they going to collect candy? But oh no, they're going trick-or-treating. Why? Because when you had, back then in Samhain, when you had those costumes on, like I said earlier, you were tricking the demons into thinking that you were one of them. So as I said earlier, the Celtics people will walk around in masks and in these costumes to fool the Roman ghosts into tricking them to thinking that they were one of them. So all your customs and rituals that you're embracing, it comes from Druid demon worship. And we finna get into it. We're gonna go further. Oh, that's right. You're going to have your pumpkins. Your pumpkins. Did you know that the Samhain people or Samhain Celtic demon druid worshipping people would have bonfires and they would sacrifice children, but not just any children though. They would kidnap women. And when they kidnap women, they'd rape these women, get them pregnant. But they're not just any women. These women were virgins. They wanted the child to be pure. Pure sacrifice. Reminds me of that movie, I think it was called Wicker. Anybody know that movie? Put the name of that movie. I'll shout it out. We might talk about the whole Wicker thing too. The Wicker tree. All right. But anyway, these children, okay, pay very close attention what you're about to learn. These children will be sacrificed, okay? But guess what, though? You see women getting kidnapped and all that, children. This is nothing new. If you learn about Molech or Moloch, the elites, they do is known as the cremation of care, the Bohemian Grove. 75 miles north of San Francisco. They sacrifice an owl. Isn't that owl on the front of your dollar bill? Oh, you didn't know that. Or did you? Moloch or Molech. which is talked about in the Bible. But I don't want to go too far off the topic. They will cause their children to pass through the fire. Children sacrifice. That's what it means when you read in the Bible and it tell you don't cause your child to pass through the fire. And guess what? Your forefathers did this wicked nonsense. Let me see if anybody shouted that movie out. No, nobody yet. Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. One moment. Anybody know the name of that movie? Okay, guess not. So anyway, they would sacrifice these children, and guess what? The fat that was left over from the child, they put it into a candle, and they put the candle into a pumpkin. Sounds familiar, don't it? They put it into a pumpkin, and guess what they called it? Jack of the Lantern. Jack of the Lantern. Now that sounds familiar. Jack-o'-lantern. Have you ever asked children, if you're watching this, ask your parents, why do we call the pumpkins jack-o'-lantern? Now they made him into a little character now, in a sense. But why jack-o'-lantern? Why we called it that? This goes back to Druid demon worship. And that's what they did. Jack-o'-lantern. So when you are calling on jack-o'-lantern and partaking in this ritual with your pumpkins, guess what you're getting homage to? Guess what you're remembering? Guess what you're partaking in? You're partaking in Druid demon worship in the honor of the dead children that was cut up and fashioned into a candle. Oh, but you follow Christ though, right? So guess what you partaking in, even if you don't know it. Anton LaVey of the Church of Satan again. He thank you Christians who out there, parents, that you allow your children to partake in Halloween. Or worship the devil one night a year. But you don't know what worship means though. You think worship again is you dealing with a Ouija board, or you got candles around and things like that, or you got a shrine. No, that's a form of worship as well. But worship, again, it comes from the Hebrew word shakah, which simply means to give homage to. Anton LaVey knows that. But you don't know that because you barely know English. So, but guess what though? You're going to have your pumpkins? Huh? You're going to have your bonfires telling your ghost stories? Not knowing you partaking in the offerings of the sun? Huh? But it don't matter. Why? Because it's for the kids. Don't matter. Right? Now, little children, if you're watching this, go ask mommy or daddy, why do I have to dress like a witch? Why are there things of witches that's walking around? Why do we see pictures and images of witches or fake witches? Why that? Why a witch? Huh? Ask them. And if they sitting right there listening, I want them to answer that question. I want them to look you in your eye and tell you, oh, baby, I don't know. Judah don't know what he talking about. Don't listen to Judah. See, you grown-ups, I'm done talking with y'all. I'm going to talk to these babies because at least they going to listen. They got the common sense. Turn your Bibles to Exodus chapter 22, verse 18. Let's read that. Can we do that? Let me grab it right quick. Exodus, or the book of Shemoth, for those of you reading Hebrew. Chapter 22, verse 18. Let's see how the Most High felt about witches. Check this out. Because there were witches back then. The male witches were known as wizards. Right? What's that little movie? The Harry Potter movie. Teaching us to embrace witchcraft. There's a website called Wikipedia. Where did that name come from? Wikipedia. The root word is Wicca, which is where you get witchcraft from. Wikipedia is a book of witchcraft. Did you know that? Probably not. But you don't care though. Doesn't matter. It don't matter. Look your child and I tell him you don't know why. Let's read Shemoth chapter 22 verse 18 on Exodus. It says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. That word suffer means allow. So back then, they would stone you, kill you. You was a witch. So what makes you think that the Most High will want you doing this now? Something that's associated with a witch. A witch? Really think about this for a second. A witch. We're going to get back to this whole trick-or-treat thing too, though. Because it's something I want to touch bases on with this word trick. But anyway, it says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Kind of like in Europe. They'd burn you. With this TV show for kids, Wizards of wherever exactly. And that Disney is really playing a number on us too. With these children. Watch what y'all got y'all children partaking in. A lot of people don't even know that the number 666 is in the Disney logo. Do your research. But many of y'all do know that though. But in that book, Fossilized Customs, page 47, I can't quote it verbatim, but I remember Lou White was saying that witches were said to fly brooms over crops, I believe to teach them to grow, and saying it was a fertility myth. For those of you who got the book Fossilized Customs, definitely bring that out or whatnot. But anyway, understand something. When you're partaking in this, you're conjuring up demons. Oh no, now I'm really talking crazy. Now, what do you mean by that? Conjuring up demons. Remember the movie The Conjuring? What's conjuring mean? Huh? You're conjuring up demons. Oh yeah. You are conjuring up demons. So, when dealing with the whole conjuring, matter of fact, let me pull this definition of conjuring up so y'all can see this. Hold on. Let me type this in. Conjuring. Okay. The conjuring, it says, the performance of tricks that are seemingly magical. I don't think you heard that. I said, this is funny right here. I mean, the conjuring. I'm finna put this back up so y'all can see this. Hold on. Let me pull this definition back up. Okay. Conjuring. Check this out. It says the conjuring. It says. Hold on, let me turn it back. Okay, it says. The performance of tricks that are seemingly magical, typically involving sleight of hand, magic, illusion. Now, all this means something if you understand the spiritual realm. Because I made the statement and said that you're conjuring up demons, right? So if you're conjuring up demons, you might want to listen to this. Because I made the statement saying you're conjuring up demons, right? Now, it said, the performance of tricks that are seemingly magical. Now, let's deal with that. Tricks. Like your trick or treat. Huh? What does trick mean? Let's look up the word for trick. Hold on. Let's look up the word trick. Hold on. About to type in the word for trick. Define trick. Okay, hold on. Let's see what we got here. It says, for trick, it says a cunning or skillful act or a scheme intended to deceive or outwit someone. Hold on, 'cause I I had a call coming in. Sorry about that. But it says trick. A cunning or skillful act or scheme intended to deceive or outwit someone. So we're going to deal with this. For example, shalom, y'all. It says a particular or characteristic habit or mannerism. Deceive or outwit someone by being cunning or skillful. We see the word deceive, hoax, fool. Sounds familiar, y'all? Intended or used to deceive or mystify or to create an illusion. Liable to fail, detective. So, right, tricks are for kids. Straight up. So when you're doing these tricks, or when we talked about conjuring up demons, you conjure up through tricks, illusions, such as your haunted house, your costumes, as we just got done talking about. Are you catching this? Really sit and pay attention and understand what you're doing. You are unknowingly conjuring up these demons. But let's go further. We're not done. Let's go further. So, like I was just saying, this whole thing that you're doing, you're conjuring up demons. So for those of you coming in, if you don't have no clue what I'm talking about, one, you're not spiritual. That's the first thing. So we just read earlier with conjuring the performance of tricks that are seemingly magical. Typically involving sleight of hand. A conjuring trick. When you invoking something, we just learned that trick is a cunning, a skillful act or a scheme. It can be used as a mischievous practical joke. What are people doing on Hallows Eve? When you're trying to pull a fast one on somebody, what is it that you're doing? Really sit and think about this for a second. Oh, yeah, I see the tricks are for kids. That's right, bro. Straight up. So, when you're playing a mischievous joke on somebody, that's tricking. You ever heard somebody say they did a conjuring trick for somebody? That's what you're doing. You are partaking in it, and you got your children partaking in this. A trick is a hoax. Something that isn't real is an illusion. Such as you walking around in costumes like ghosts. So when you celebrating Halloween in any way, such as your costumes, your candy, and their parties and festivals, you are actually partaking in an old ritual. Souling, galling, Samhain. Different name, same thing. You are actually partaking in a ritual. This ritual may seem fun and innocent, but guess what? You're actually invoking spirits of the damn dead. You're conjuring demons. Real witches, I repeat, real witches still celebrate this day today. It's a high, holy day for them. Halloween, holy evening for them. So when you're celebrating Halloween, you are engaging in a belief system of necromancy, calling upon the dead. Now, yeah, you may not realize this, but this is what you're actually doing. For example, our forefathers, when you read Shemoth chapter 32 or Exodus chapter 32, you learn how, you remember the story where our forefathers, they made the golden image, that golden calf. This was giving homage to another god, another deity, an idol, which of course has spirits on it. And the Most High was upset. Why? Because he's a jealous God. You can't take something wicked and put the Most High name on it. Nor can you make it clean. Speaking of that, what's that scripture? Job 14:4. Let's grab that right quick. The book of Job. Let's go deal with that real quick. What was supposed to say? Even if you decide to wear angel costume, right? A princess, a king, you're still partaking in it. Because I was talking about earlier, they did this. They would dress like little fairies and stuff like that. And they did this earlier. I talked about this earlier. So yeah, definitely go back and check that out or whatnot. They did this to trick and deceive the ghosts into thinking that they were one of them, into leaving them alone or whatnot. So this whole dressing up and costume act, it comes to us from this Druid demon worship festival. That's right. We're going to go to the book of Job, chapter 14. For those of you just coming in. Book of Job, chapter 14. All right, verse 4, it says. He asked a question, said, Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? That's a question he's asking. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Not one. Nobody can do that. So that means you can't take something that was evil and wicked or unclean and make it clean. You can't do it. If you have the Apocrypha, let's grab, I believe it's Sirach chapter 34. Also known as Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. You get the original King James Version Bible, which was authorized to be translated in year 1611. You have a book called Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach. Not the drink, guys. But in here, in the book of Sirach, some would say Sirach, chapter 34 is where we're going. All right? That's where we're going next. I did do a video called Apocrypha on Trial, so you check that out too. Learn why they took these books out. Okay, so Ecclesiasticus chapter 34 and verse 4. All right, we good. I had lost the connection, but we good. I'm back. Okay, so I know people coming in. I had lost the connection. I apologize for that. We going back. Ecclesiastes 34 and verse 4 is why I was picking off at. All right, I know people finna come on in. I'll give it a little second because I had lost internet connection. All right, so I'll go ahead and give it about probably another 15 seconds. Once again, I had lost internet connection. So if you're coming in, we back. We're gonna go ahead and get started again. The book of Ecclesiasticus. Let me go here. We're gonna turn there. Okay, Ecclesiasticus chapter 34 and verse 4. It says, because remember we just read Job 14 and 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. So it says, of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? So it's saying something that's unclean. What cleanse can come to that? We're talking a thing. It says, of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? And from that thing which is false, what truth can come? What truth can come? So we're dealing with illusions, tricks, associated with Druid demon worship, conjuring up demons, partaking in a belief system of necromancy. Let's get back to it. So, we already hit the Exodus 22 and 18, right? Let's go to Leviticus chapter 20. So we're going to go next. Book of Leviticus, chapter 20. And what is it? Verse, I'm going to start in 26. It says, and you shall be holy unto me, for I the Lord am holy, and have severed you from other people. You see that? The Most High separate you from other people. He made you separate from other people. So it says, verse 26 again, it says, and you shall be holy unto me, for I the Lord am holy, and have severed you or separated you from other people, that you shall be mine. See that? You shall be mine. So it says, a man also or a woman that have a familiar Spirit. What that mean? A familiar spirit. What that mean? Because today when you see the word familiar, that mean, oh yeah, you look familiar. But no, not this. We talking demonic force. Verse 27 again. A man also or woman that have a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones. Their blood shall be upon them. So the Most High wasn't getting down with your wizard stuff, your demonic force that you partaking in on Halloween. Wasn't getting down with that spiritual stuff. Period. That was a death sentence back then. Now, really sit and think about something. If this was the ancient world and you partaking in that, what you think would happen? Your forefathers would have done. They would have stoned you. You would have got a brick shower. Walking around on Halloween doing that stuff. Yeah. Look how the Most High got down back then. Luckily we got what's called grace, mercy. That don't mean you can keep doing it. That just means you now got a chance to get it right before it's too late. So stop partaking in this evil, wicked necromancy. Speaking of that, let's go Deuteronomy 18. If you saw the live video me and my brother did the other day, we hit this scripture. You know what I'm saying? We didn't go into too much detail, but we did hit the script. So that's what we finna do. Let's go and grab it. Deuteronomy 18, we're going to start in the 9th verse. All right, let me grab that. Deuteronomy 18. For those who read Hebrew, Devarim. That was, we hit Exodus 22 and 18. We hit Leviticus chapter 20, verse 20 and 26. And now what we about to do is we about to hit Deuteronomy chapter 18. We're going to read verse 9 through about 13. Yeah, about 9 to 13. Okay. So that's what we finna hit. All right. Because, hey, it's finna get a little deep. Because you see, there ain't nothing changed. Nothing new under the sun. People are still partaking in this stuff. But now it's innocent because around the 1950s, around like 1953, that was mainly when the children, where the parents embraced it to the children and it became the hot commodity, the thing to do. So now Halloween has been commercialized, but it's still the same rituals. They go back to Druid demon worship. It's still the same customs, the same chants. It's just that they add to it. But it's the same thing. Same thing. It's associated with the same thing. The dead, wizards, necromancy, enchanters, charmers. Same thing that these Druid demon worshippers still love to this very day. That's why they call it Halloween. It's a holy evening for them. But for us, it's not no holy evening. That's the day of the damn devil. The devil. Period. So let's get us some understanding. Deuteronomy, or Devarim for those who read Hebrew. We go into chapter 18. Alright. Let me put the camera on this. Okay. The book of Devarim, chapter 18. This is what he told our forefathers. I don't know if y'all able to see that. But I'm hitting verse 9. Alright. Verse 9. It says, when you are coming to the land which the Most High, your mighty one, in other words, give you, you should not learn to do after the abomination of those nations. Alright? So, he's letting you know when I bring you to this land, don't be doing what they doing. Huh? Don't be doing that. That's the first thing he told us. Then he said, there shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire. Sounds familiar. That's where you get your jack-o'-lantern from. Remember I was saying earlier, your whole jack-o'-lantern? Where that come from? Children, if you're watching this, go ask mommy and daddy. Where does jack-o'-lantern come from? Because this is when they sacrificed children, or what the script said, they made their children pass through the fire. They cut their body parts up, put it into a pumpkin, and they called it jack-o'-the-lantern. But you love this ritual today, don't you? Yeah, you do. You're going to make up some excuse to partake in it. But the Most High see you. When you read the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus 32:17 says, a sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will. What does that mean? That means if you're sinful, you're going to come up with some kind of excuse according to your will. Why? Because it make you sleep better at night. Make you sleep better at night. So as long as you can live in this false reality, lie to yourself, tell y'all I ain't really doing that. But guess what? You really are. That means you don't understand the spiritual realm. You're partaking in Druid demon worship. Period. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walketh about seeking whom he can devour. A lot of people will be devoured. A lot of children will be devoured on Halloween. Let's get back to it and get us some understanding. So, we in Devarim, or Deuteronomy chapter 18. I'm going to start back in verse 9. It says, when you are come into the land, all right, which the Lord your God giveth you, you shall not learn to do after the abomination. That's a wicked, disgusting act of those nations. He said, there shall not be found any, there shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or daughter to pass through the fire, or that use a divination. There go your black magic. What they gonna be doing? What is it associated with? Then it say, or an observer of times. That's dealing with your wicked astrology. Then it say, or an enchanter. What's an enchanter? That's somebody who does voodoo. Or a witch. Wicca. Witchcraft. Witches. All these things that you're partaking in is dealing with this. Then it says, or a charmer. What's a charmer? That's a psychic or a fortune teller. Remember earlier I talked about how on Samhain they would do bonfires and they would be telling people's future, doing fortune telling. It's nothing new. Nothing new. And these customs are still partaking today. You want to dress your little boy up like a little wizard, little Harry Potter, huh? He a little necromancer walking around. But then let's keep reading. It says, or a consulter with familiar spirits. Today you know them as mediums. Those that conjure up demons. Guess what you're going to be associated with in a few days? You little medium. Then it say, or a wizard. Oh, there go your sorcerer. Your little warlock. Huh? Your little doctor. Huh? Check that out. Or a wizard. That's a male witch. A sorcerer. He's a warlock. Then it says, or a necromancer. Oh, man. That's a little Ouija board. Huh? Spiritualism is what they call it. Mediating. Being a wizard. Look at your movies. They put this stuff right in your face. But you don't care. Why? Because it's fun. It's for the children. Oh, them babies don't understand. Yes, they do. Because they grow up and be little devils like you. And devil just means deceiver. That's all it means. But then it says, for all, not some, for all that do these things on abomination unto the Most High. And because of these abominations, the Most High, your mighty one, do it, drive them out from before you. Now understand something. If the Most High wasn't getting down with that, told you don't be like them other nations, drove them out from away from you, what makes you think on this night, on this wicked Samhain, All Souls Day, All Saints Day, All Hallows Eve, which you call Halloween, is going to be okay? Make it make sense. He wasn't getting down with that. Why you getting down with it? willingly teaching your children, oh, it's okay, it's for the kids. It's for the kids. Then you have them partaking Christmas. Damn! I ain't finna get into that. That's just as wicked as Halloween. Oh no, I'm going crazy now, right? Watch the video I did. It's on YouTube. It's called Dear Santa, Christianity Exposed. Did I name it there? Hold on. Let me make sure I named it that. Let me go to my YouTube channel. Hold on. It's a video I did here. Right there. It's called Dear Santa, Christianity Exposed 3. That was basically a letter that I written to Santa, me leaving that custom alone because I found out what it was about. Alright, but we ain't finna get into that because this is about All Hallows Even, what you call Halloween today. Yeah, you just give it a new name. Still got your witches and pumpkins and brooms, not knowing that this was all going back to witchcraft. Not was, but is. I stand corrected. Not was going back to witchcraft. It is going back to witchcraft. Wicked. Wicca. Sorcery. Wikipedia. That's what you're into. So, let's go back. To get us some understanding. Ain't the Most High the same today and tomorrow and forever? Huh? Isn't he the same? We still in Deuteronomy of Devarim. So it says, for all that do these things are abomination to the Most High. And because of these abominations, the Lord your God hath driven them out from before thee. Then he say, thou shalt be perfect. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord your God. That wasn't a suggestion. That was a commandment. You commanded to be perfect. Perfect. But I can't be perfect. Oh, there goes your excuse. Let's go to 3 John. Not St. John, 3 John. You know, 3 John is in the back. All right. You know, the last book is Revelation. And before Revelation, you got 3 John. So that's where we going. 3 John. All right. Right before the book of Jude. 3 John. All right. It says, beloved, follow not that which is evil. Don't follow that which is evil, because that's what you're doing. But that which is good. He that doeth good is of God, but he that doeth evil have not seen the Most High. See that? Check this out. Let's go to, what's it, 2 John. Verse 9, it says, whosoever transgresseth, meaning sin, and abide or stay not in the doctrine of Christ, so you not following the teachings of Christ, so you have not God. He that abideth in the doctrine of Christ, he both have the Father and the Son. But look at verse 10. It says, if there come any unto you, any, and bring not this doctrine or teachings, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed. Don't let this Negro in your house. That's what some of y'all gonna be doing on Thanksgiving. Let them come in your house because it's cold. Oh, bring the babies in. Verse 11. For he that abideth, he that biddeth him Godspeed is a partaker of his evil deeds. So you just as guilty. Guilty by association. My family ain't gonna be hitting me up on this damn day. Why? Because I don't give a damn about your damn All Hallows Even. I don't partake in Satanism. Period. Don't hit me up. Don't contact me. None of that. I don't want nothing to do with that. Because it ain't dealing with the Most High. Period. This day is wicked. Let's go to Proverbs 22. Let's grab that right quick. Book of Proverbs, chapter 22. Hold on. We're going to Proverbs 22. Proverbs chapter 22. All right. Proverbs 22 and 6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So this is for you people who think that the babies don't understand. Train them up. They do understand. They can do all these latest dances. They know all the songs on the radio. Huh? They know how to cuss and all that. They understand. Train them up. These babies know. It's your ignorant behind that don't know. And ignorant just means you don't know. The root word of ignorant is ignore. You choose to ignore this. So it's your ignorant behind that don't know. So, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. How should we train the babies up? Huh? Deuteronomy or Devarim chapter 4. For you so-called Bible believers out there. Alright. Devarim chapter 4. I hear you, bro, no doubt. All praises. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9, it says, only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which your eyes have seen, and lest they depart from your heart. Now, the Hebrew word for heart is la'av. It means your mind. All right? Lest they depart from your mind is what he's saying. Then it says, all the days of your life, but teach them your sons and your sons' sons. So teach these to your babies and they babies, because you're going to be grandparents one day, right? So you grandparents is watching this. Shame on you. You ain't telling your grandbabies. Shame on you. It's no excuse. And don't try to make no excuse about this. Especially you grandfathers. Man up. Tell them anyway. Tell them the truth. Yeah, you're going to get ridiculed. So what? Tell them anyway. What's the worst can happen? They're going to break away from Satanism. Big deal. Tell them anyway. Because you obligated. And if you don't tell them, guess what, you grandparents? Your time is ticking. You almost out of here. You're going to have to answer. Period. Grandparents. All praises, bro. I follow the Most High. That's who we follow. All praises. Let's continue. Verse 10, it says, especially the day that you stood before the Lord your God in Horeb, when the Lord said to me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. That they may teach their children. So you see, this is a generational thing. We're supposed to be fearing the Most High. How you fearing the Most High, but you're partaking in rituals that go back to Druid demon worship? Make that make sense? Don't make sense to me. Let's go to chapter 6, verse 6 and 7. It says, Deuteronomy, chapter 6. I'm going to start in verse 5. And thou shalt love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your mind, your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children. Diligently unto your children. And shall talk with them when thou sittest in thy house. So it ain't just about relaxing. It says, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. You supposed to be teaching these babies. They know better. The only one who don't know better is your ignorant behind. You the only one that don't know better. Let's go to chapter 11. I think that's chapter 11. All right. What's that? Verse 19. It says, and you shall teach them diligently. And you shall teach them your children, speaking of them which thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Teach these to your babies. Period. Teach them to your babies. Straight up. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4 again. What's that? Verse 20. Deuteronomy 4 and 20. It says, but the Lord your God of it says, verse 40, I'm tripping. It says, thou shalt keep, therefore, his statutes and his commandments, which I command you this day. It says that it may go well with you and with your children after you. So you see that? The Most High telling us, you keep these commandments that go well with you and well with your children. Yes, your babies. Don't you care about them? Tell them. So it'll go well with you. Alright? Let's finish this though. Verse 40, it says, and with thy children after thee, understand that, and thou mayest prolong your days upon the earth. You want to live longer? You want to prolong your days on the earth? You best get to it. Then they say, which the Lord your God giveth thee forever. Now think about something. Parents, you tell your child, you're supposed to honor me. The 10 Commandments, one of the commandments is honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the earth that the Lord your God giveth you. Right? But the child can turn around and say, yeah, you're right, Mom. But you're supposed to be teaching me these commandments, that you can prolong your days upon this earth, that the Lord your God giveth you. That must hit home. Hit me. Get to it. Get to it. So, let's continue. We just hit that Deuteronomy 4 or whatnot. We're going to go to chapter 12. Deuteronomy chapter 4. Chapter 12. Let's go back to audio. Let me put this down so I can listen. Okay. Chapter 12. Verse 28, it says, observe and hear all these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee, forever, when thou doest that which is good and right in the sight of the Most High Power. So you see that? We got to get to it, y'all. We got to get to it. Hosea chapter 4. Yeah, let's get that one. The book of Hosea. Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6, which reads, my people. It didn't say everybody. It says my people. You Israelites, you so-called Negroes out there, descendants of the slave trade. We are the true children of Israel. And if you watch my videos, you already know this. True identity of the so-called Negro. All 4 parts. If you want it, inbox me, I'll send it to you, because they banned some of them off YouTube. But anyway, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject you. See that? That thou shalt be no priest to me. Because remember, he called us to be his priest. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of your God, so since you've forgotten the commandments of your God, what'd he say? I will also forget your children. I will also forget your children. See how the Most High getting down? He'll forget your babies. Think about that for a second. Don't Proverbs 3 and 31 says, envy not thou the oppressor and choose none of his ways? We ain't supposed to be partaking in none of this. Period. Let's grab the book of Isaiah chapter 5 right quick. The book of Isaiah chapter 5. We're going to read a few more. We're going to get on up out of here. I want my phone to down, y'all. And I just want to share just a little bit with y'all. Isaiah chapter 5. All right. Chapter 20. Isaiah chapter 5 verse 20. It says, woe, that means destruction or warning. Warning or woe unto them that call evil good. So for you people who got parents and the children, if y'all teaching each other that this is okay, something that's evil or dreaded occasion is good, the scripts say woe unto you. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. That goes for you trunk and treating pastors that's going to be trying to do this nonsense. Put good for evil, light for darkness, and darkness for light. That go for you. Shame on you. Because that's what you're doing. Again, it says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. Woe. Then it say, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto... There we go. We back. All right. So now we back. So again, it says, we in Isaiah 5 and 21. Sorry about that. Y'all was losing connection. But we back. It says, woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent or clever in their own sight. Which means what? You want to be wise in your own eyes. You want to put your own spin on something. You want to be clever. No, your thoughts ain't the same thoughts as the Most High. Hold on. Let me grab a sip of my Gatorade. That's so good. All right. We getting a little more before we get on up out of here. All right. The Apocrypha. Let me pull my Apocrypha up because I ain't got it. It's down here buried in some of them books. I'm not finna look for it, but I do got it on my laptop. Ecclesiastes 3. When you look in the Apocrypha. And verse 24. That's what we finna grab. It says, for many are deceived. That means what? They're fooled. They're tricked. By their own vain opinion. Now what that means? I mean, many people are going to be fooled by their own worthless opinion. Period. It says, and an evil suspicion of overthrowing a judgment. So by them having an evil suspicion about something, they're into making a bad judgment. Let's hit Romans chapter 10 right quick as well. Romans chapter 10. Let's grab that. Verse 1, it says, brethren, my heart's or mind's desire and prayer to God for Israel is. So he's praying for his people, the Israelites, us, that they might be saved. What else did he say about his people? For I bear them record, the children of Israel, that they have a zeal of God. Don't that sound like your church folks today? Because many of them are Israelites, they just don't know it. They got a zeal for God. They go to church every Sunday. They pray a lot. Give to the homeless. They help people. They got a straight zeal for the Most High, no doubt. But guess what, though? But not according to knowledge. They don't have the true knowledge of the Father. But they got a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. Ask them, hey, you know the 10 Commandments? Yeah, name them. I mean, I can name them by heart. I mean, name them in order. I mean, I can name them in order. Yeah, but you know songs in a row, you know your number, and you know everything else. You know the days of the week in order. You know the months in order. Think about that. People can name the 12 months in order, but can't name the 10 Commandments in order. That's sad. Huh? No other gods before me. No graven images. Don't take his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath. Honor your father and your mother. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor, and thou shalt not covet. So we can name the 12 months in order. Huh? Know all the holidays. About when they come around. Huh? Your favorite song. You put your favorite CD in. You know what track that number is. Huh? You can remember passwords. Huh? You know your significant other's passwords. But you don't know them 10 Commandments, though. Oh, no. I mean, I can quote them, but shut up. Listen and learn. So if you can't do that, then obviously this video really ain't gonna make sense to you because you're not spiritual. Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 7 right quick. Mark chapter 7. And somebody who's been going to church all their life probably don't even know where the book of Mark is because they don't be in their Bibles. Period. Shame on you. But it's not too late to get it right. Get it together. Get together. Not tomorrow, right now. It says, and he answered and said unto them, well have Isaiah, or you may say Isaiah, prophesied to you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honor me with their lips. It's all about lip service. I love the Lord. Lip service. It says, but their heart, that means their mind, is far from me. So a lot of people who say they love God, they're going to be partaking in these Halloween satanic rituals with the candy, the treats and all that. But they tell you with their mouth they love God, but their mind is far from them. Far from them. It says, howbeit, meaning however in vain do they worship me. Worthless worship. Teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. That's what you're doing today. You've broken the commandments of God and following the doctrine of men, the teachings of the ways of man. It says, for laying aside the commandment of God, you hold the tradition of men. For laying aside the commandment of God, you do hold the tradition of men. For laying aside the commandment of God, you do hold the tradition of men. As of washing of pots and cups. Tradition, right? And many other such things like you do. Such things, it says such like things you do. Period. Let's go to back to the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus chapter 5. Verse 7, it says, make no tarrying. Tarry means waiting. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. So people like to put the Most High off. Oh, I know, I already bought these costumes. Huh? You're going to be trying to come up with some kind of excuse. Our last one. But guess what? You may die on that last one. I know a sister who knew the truth about Halloween. Still went to a haunted house. You know who you are. Still went to a haunted house. I told you what it was. What happened? Got into an accident. Most High not playing. And may the Most High have mercy on her soul. But somebody who was with you, I believe she's your best friend, she died. You know who I'm talking about. If you go back and partake in this and return back to your own vomit, guess what, sister? The Most High got a spot for you. He got a spot for you. It ain't a good one. But it's nothing personal. I tell you because I love you. It's out of love. Don't go back to your own vomit. Because you've gone back into the world. And away from the Most High. It's nothing personal. But it is what it is, though. And many such people who watching this. I see your news feed. You went to your parties and all that. Some of y'all watch it now. I saw you came up in here. And you still gonna go partake after you've learned all of this. Because you don't care. So what? But guess what, though? Let's read it. It says, make no waiting to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. Don't be procrastinating. So it says, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. And in your security, like when you think it's all good, you shall be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. You're going to die. You're going to die. Period. You can't say you didn't know. How many people you think going to die on Halloween? Children be kidnapped, all kind of stuff, right? You don't care. Why? Because, hey, it ain't you, right? John 8:47 say, he that is of God heareth God's word. You therefore hear them not, because you're not of God. So only the people of the Most High will hear God's word, period. Proverbs 28:9 say, if you turn your ear away from hearing the law, even your prayer will be an abomination. So don't think you finna go and just pray back to the Most High and think it's all good. Hebrews 10:26 say, for if we sin willfully, meaning on purpose, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. Meaning there remaineth no more forgiveness for sins. Because you're no longer sorry at that point. You're sorry you got caught. So many of you parents going to be watching this. You're still going to have your children partaking in this. It's going to be our last Halloween. You're going to be done with this. I know we've heard all the excuses before. You could come up with some type of excuse. And some of you children whose parents taught you the truth are going to come up with some kind of excuse why you want to go to a haunted house. After you just learned this, you want to go to a party, kick it with your friends. You're going to die in your sins. Period. And if you parents is watching this who got children that know better, don't have no pleasure in them. Let's read. Let's go to the Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach. We're going to go to chapter 16. Let's grab that right quick. Ecclesiasticus chapter 16, verse 1. It says, desire not an unprofitable children. You see that? For those of you, oh, wait, where he reading at? If you get the original King James Version Bible, in between what you call the Old and New Testament, there were 14 books known as the Apocrypha that the Catholic Protestants took out. I did a documentary on it. If you want it, let me know. Send me a video about the missing books, Apocrypha on Trial. I'll send it to you. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you who, hold on. One moment. I'm reading from here. On my YouTube channel, here it is. Apocrypha on Trial. This video right here. Okay? It's long as ever, but it's worth it. Next to the Christmas video. Can be found at youtube.com/Judah, Judah, Yisrael, which is YISRAEL, and then the numbers 314. Okay, so we're reading in the missing books known as the Apocrypha. Okay, so I'm in Ecclesiasticus, chapter 16, verse 1. It says, desire not, mean don't want, a multitude of unprofitable children. So if your children ain't obeying, don't want those children. Don't desire them. It says, neither delight in ungodly sons. They want to go partake in Halloween, have no pleasure in them. They want to be wicked, so be it. Don't desire in them. Have no desire in that at all. Then it say, though they multiply. So yeah, you having a lot of children, right? It says, rejoice not in them. Rejoice not in them. It says, except the fear of the Lord be with them. So that's the only way you're supposed to be rejoicing in your children, is that the fear of the Lord be with them. Period. Today we have what's called unconditional love. But if you read scriptures like Deuteronomy 21, man, you learn if your child was disobedient back then, they stoned them children. There was no unconditional love. This is the terms you obeying. So it says, verse 3, trust not thou in their life. So don't trust in their life. It says, neither respect their multitude. So don't regard, like, oh, I got a lot of children. But if they disobedient, so it says, for one that is just, meaning one that keeps the commandments, one that's righteous, is better than 1,000. And better it is to die without children than to have them that are ungodly. Straight up. So I know some of you sisters out there that's longing for children, maybe want more children. Keep your head up high. Because there's somebody out there with ungodly children, got a whole bunch of them, but they love them. They rejoice in them. And it's better to have no children than to have ungodly children. Period. Let that sink in. It says, verse 4, for by one that have understanding. So if you got one child that got the understanding of the Most High, it says, shall the city be replenished. but the kindred of the wicked shall speedily come desolate. Many such things have I seen with my eyes, and my ear hath heard greater things than these. And the congregation of the ungodly shall a fire be kindled, and in a rebellious nation wrath is set on fire. So do not have pleasure in ungodly children. They want to partake in this wickedness. Have no pleasure in that. Period. Ain't you a child of God? And you being a child of God, he got no pleasure in you at all. So yeah, it seems a little harsh. Guess what? The Most High the same way. You being his child, he got no pleasure in you either. Period. So don't go out and do what the world doing. The scriptures say, love, 1 John 2:15, love not the world, neither the things that in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. James 4:4, you adulterer and adulteresses, know you not that friendship with the world is enmity toward God? Huh? So if anybody want to be a friend of the world, you an enemy of the Most High. I mean, you want to go out and do what they do, partake in what they doing, you an enemy of the Father. You an enemy of the Father. Baruch chapter 4 in the Apocrypha. The book of Baruch. We're going to chapter 4. Because there are some people who may watch this and may repent and may not go back to All Hallows Eve and All Saints Day, All Souls Day, Samhain, Samhain, a.k.a. Halloween, a.k.a. the Feast of the Dead. So they may turn and repent from this. Why? Because their mind wasn't right with the Most High. Their mind went away from God. It went astray from the Most High. Repenting ain't you saying, oh, well, Judah, what he's saying is true, but I'm going to partake in Halloween. I'm not going to do everything, but I'm going to just do something just for the kid. I done bought all this candy, spent all this money. Throw it away. Period. Most High don't want no excuse. He want obedience. Period. And he ain't compromising with none of y'all. Ain't no compromising. You get down or you gonna lay down. Period. So for those of you who mind has went away from the Most High, and now you decided that you're gonna repent, even though you spent all this money on your children, huh? You gonna sit them down and explain it. If you can't explain it, make them watch the video. You let them listen to all that cussing on the radio. You let them listen to and watch all that nonsense, murder and all that other kind of stuff. Hell, you was finna let them partake in Halloween. I don't let my kids do that. You was finna let them partake in demonic worship. They can listen to this. Huh? They want to be scared on Halloween. This will scare them. Huh? This is a scary movie. Scare them back straight. Straight up. So, your mind is back right. You've now repented. You now say, you know what? I'm done with this wickedness. I know my family going to ridicule me. Matter of fact, speaking of ridicule, hold your Baruch. We're going to hit Luke chapter 6 right quick first. All right. Luke chapter 6. Luke chapter 6. In real talk, we is getting a few. We getting out of here. Luke chapter 6, verse 22. It says, blessed are you. Blessed are you when men shall hate you. You see that you get a blessing when they hate you. And when they shall separate you from their company. I mean, what? They don't want you around. Oh, here come this Bible thumper. Here he come. Here she come. Gosh. You saw people, they talk to you different. Oh, my family do me like that. I notice. It's funny to me, though. You know, I heard the stories you talk about me behind my back. I know. Whatever. You gonna die in your sin, though, if you don't repent. How about that? A last shall be first. But again, it's in Luke 6:22, it says, blessed are you when men shall hate you. And when they shall separate you from their company. They don't want you around. Oh, no, because you're going to be persecuted. You're going to be ridiculed. All right. I did a video called Persecution of the Saints. May want to watch that. Huh? So it says, and shall reproach you and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Huh? They're going to be talking bad about you for this truth. Alright? It says, rejoice you in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in like manner, hold on, had a call. It says, for in like manner did their fathers unto the false prophets. So in other words, I'm sorry, for like manner did their fathers to the prophets. So in other words, don't feel bad. They did the prophets like that. All right, exactly. They're going to be saying, just bring them to church. Psst, please. Please. For that Druid demon worship, psych. Psych. Boy, people come up with all kind of excuses to partake in this day. Check this out, verse 26. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you. That means if everybody's speaking well of you, you ain't doing something right. This ain't the friend making business. You're going to have enemies, not friends. You think I care if your feelings hurt? I don't care. So what? I got thick skin. So what? I don't need your friendship. I ain't got time for friends no way. I don't need no friends. I got brothers. The brotherhood of the Messiah. How about that? I don't need your friends. Look like I got time for friends? No, I ain't got time for that. Friends. I ain't got time for that. Judah, why you don't call? I'm busy. Banging this truth. To my last breath. What else is there to be doing? That's what you ought to be doing. To your last breath. Because they gonna kill people like us from bringing this stuff out. Whatever. It is what it is. And if you too busy looking back like Lot's wife, you ain't fit for the kingdom in the first place. Strap up or back up. Period. You gonna get ridiculed. Your family gonna think you crazy. They gonna joan you out the house. Oh, let them babies have a future. Let them babies have fun. They don't know no better. They don't know what this is. You do. And they know if you tell them. Let's get Luke 15. Luke chapter 15, verse 10. Book of Luke chapter 15, verse 10. It says, likewise, I say unto you, there was joy. There was joy in the presence of the angel of God over one sinner that repent. So if one person watching this video said, I'm done with Halloween, I'm through, just one, all praise to the Most High name, His only begotten beloved Son. Hallelujah to that. Hallelujah to that. I thought it was hallelujah. Hallelujah. That's a whole nother topic though. Whatever. Now we're going back to the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 28. All right. So if you got the Apocrypha with the 1611, the red book, get your behind there. That's where we going. Get to it. Hurry up. Hurry up. Get to it. Get to it. Come on. Get to it. Come on. Baruch. Who was Baruch? He was the secretary of Jeremiah. Jeremiah. All right. Who was he? So we're going to book Baruch chapter 4. No, matter of fact, scratch that. We're going chapter 2, then we're going to end it with chapter 4. Book of Baruch chapter 2. All right. All right. Let me get the computer half froze. Here we go. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start in verse 27. Book of Baruch, chapter 2. I'm starting 26. It says, and the house which is called by thy name hast thou laid waste, as it is to be seen this day for the wickedness of the house of Israel, and the house of Judah. House comes from the Hebrew word bait or bait, which means family. It's talking about a family of people. The Israelites, our forefathers, our ancestors. It wasn't no white people. All right, you think the Jews is white? Yeah, okay. Anyway, verse 27. O Lord our God, thou hast dealt with us after all your goodness, and according to all thy great mercy of yours. Then it say, all praises, Queen. It says, and thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day which thou did command him to write the Torah or law before the children of Israel, saying, all right, saying, if you will not hear my voice, surely this great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations while I will scatter them. All right. It says, for I knew that they would not hear me. He knew you was going to be stiff-necked, hard-headed, and rebellious. He knew that. And wrote it as a testimony against you. So he says, for I knew they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. You hard-headed. Can't tell you nothing. Kind of like Ezekiel 33. For they hear your words, but they do them not. So you get people that's going to hear this, like, oh man, that's the truth, man, Judah, blah, blah, blah. And you still going to partake in this. Some way, some shape, fashion, form, or another. From painting your face, going to a party, posting your pictures with your pumpkins and all that nonsense. Trick-or-treating. Not banging this truth on it. You're going to partake anyway. You're going to eat the candy. I don't want none of that. I smack that candy out your hand. Straight like that. I don't partake in none of it. Let's continue. It says, verse 30 again, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. So what does that mean? Because right now we in captivity. There's a prophecy that one day we're going to remember ourselves. We're going to start calling back on the Father. We're going to start remembering who we are. Then it say, and shall know that I am the Lord their God. We going to understand that's the God of Israel. Said, for I gave them a heart, meaning a mind. So I'm going to read it again, verse 31. And shall know that I am the Lord their God, for I give them an heart and ears to hear. So one day, these rebellious Israelites are finally going to have an ear to hear. If you know me personally, you know I wasn't always like this. But now I got an ear to hear now. I'm listening now. Then it say, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. So right now, we in captivity right now. And now we are now starting to worship the true Father in spirit and in truth now. And this was foretold by Jeremiah's secretary, Baruch. Then it say, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name and return from their stiff neck. So one day we're going to stop being hard-headed. You better hope you live to see it. It says, and return from the stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, like your Halloween that you're partaking in. For they shall remember the way of their fathers with sin before the Lord. So we read earlier how our forefather was getting down with the same spiritual wickedness that's attached to this Halloween nonsense for being a necromancer, an enchanter, dealing with familiar spirits, becoming witches and stuff, wizards. We gonna start remembering that. I'm gonna read it again. And return from the stiff neck and from the wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers with sin before the Lord. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be lords of it. We're going to rule that land one day. You're going to be the landlord. So they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. See that? Then it say, And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. Yahoo! Let's continue. Baruch chapter 4. And remember, when you're dealing with Revelation 3, for you lukewarmers out there who know this true, but you're going right back into doing this stuff anyway, and you're going to be encouraging people. You're going to be encouraging people to do this. Guess what? You got a price you're going to pay. You're going to die too. You think because you're going to be putting up with this, guess what? You got a price to pay. You're going to be put to death anyway. Hey, you better do something. Better take heed to this video. You know what he said he going to do with lukewarm people. Revelation 3:16. Because you are lukewarm and not cold into the hot, I will spew you or spit you out my mouth. So you're going to spit you out anyway. Lukewarmers. Halfway in, halfway out. Hokey pokey mode. Huh? You're going to be put to death. Period. Baruch chapter 4 verse 28. Because we know, again, like I was saying earlier, your mind done went off into the world. Huh? But now that you're back, guess what you ought to be doing now? And you better watch my video, Occupy Till I Come. I did a video called Occupy Till I Come. For all you people who know the truth and went back into the world and you slacking now. Yeah, you got a price you gonna pay. Ooh-wee. Like my brother said, ooh-wee. You who know the truth and you ain't sharing it, ooh-wee, as my brother say. Shout out to my brother Mally again, man. So, you got a price you gonna pay. You know the truth. You not sharing it. You being lazy in this truth. Huh? You halfway in, halfway out. You only in the truth on Facebook, or you only in the truth when people who know the truth come around you. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. You gonna have a price you gonna pay. You better watch Occupy Till I Come. I did the video. Hold on, wait a minute. So you won't say what video he talking about. On my right here, me and my brother Ezra. I did a video called Occupy Till I Come. Boy, so you being lukewarm? You want to be lazy? You want to be a waste of space? You know the truth? You been on that dog? Yeah, I know what Judah talking about, that Israelite stuff. You got a price you gonna pay. And boy, it ain't good. You might as well be going doing your Halloween and have fun now, because it's going to be like a credit card. Have fun now, you're going to pay later. But guess what's going to be your price? Go watch the video. You're going to see. Lazies. Especially you got women now. You got married. You're happily married. You got your little family going now. You got lazy now. You kick back chilling. Ooh-wee. You busy, work, and you doing this and doing all that. Ooh-wee. That don't mean nothing. You got a price you gonna pay. You got a price you gonna pay. You think because you busy, got other things you could be doing, that's gonna get you up out of this? You think because you know now that's gonna get you up out of this, and you not sharing? Oh, boy. You got a price you gonna pay. Period. You best get to it. You better watch that video. Ignore me if you want to. Okay. Have fun. Have fun. Be lazy. Have fun. Have fun. Because you're going to pay later. Baruch chapter 4 and verse 28. Let's get some of this script. Let's get that. It says in verse 28, it says, for as it was your mind. So, for as it was your mind, this is Old English for y'all who don't know, to go astray or away from God. So again, for as it was your mind to go away from God, right? You done went away from God. You done slacked off, right? Check this out. So being returned, so now that you back, you done repent and got your mind right, seek him. seek him. What? 10 times more. So that means you got to go 10 times as hard in what you were doing. 10 times. So what have we learned today? We've learned that these customs, such as your trick or treat, such as your costumes, your parties, going from house to house, we've learned where these things come from. So everything that you're doing, your haunted houses, all that, your pumpkins, jack-o'-lantern, witches, brooms, you've just learned the truth about this. You just learned the truth. Hebrews 10:26 say, for we sin willfully. If we sin willfully, because we fall short. But if you sin willfully, after that you have received the knowledge of the truth, there remain no more sacrifices, aka forgiveness for sins. So now that you know the truth, you know that Halloween is wicked now. Now you got no doubt. If you saw the video I did 2 years ago, then you see this one, which is the second video I've done. Because it's the second video. Again, as I stated, because I know some of y'all just came in here. I just said earlier on the channel, and I'm doing this for people with no excuse, man. You got no excuse. I did the video, Halloween Origins Exposed. Less than 10 minutes. Alright? I did that 2 years ago. I believe it was October 7, 2015 is when I posted this up on here. You need to watch that. Watch Occupy Till I Come. Straight up. Definitely watch Apocryphon Try. And definitely watch, definitely watch this one. The Dear Santa. That's mostly audio. Alright. But you really know now that it's wicked. Ask yourself. Like I said earlier. Why do we say trick or treat? Why do we dress up? Why the pumpkins? Where did this stuff originate from? Kind of like people who wear wedding rings. Have you ever searched the origins of wedding rings? Where they come from? Paganism. Yeah, paganism. Oh, don't say that, Judah. But ask yourself, where did this come from? Huh? Where it come from? And if you don't know, do your research. But ask yourself,